Hello, Research Fellow. Now that we have added all of our media to the project assets, it's time to get started on actually adding them to and editing our video. For the sake of this video, I've also already added any music and background images I'm going to need, as well as the credits for this video. To add your video files to what we will refer to as the timeline, what we are working in, you just simply click all of them and drag them in. You can drag them in one at a time, or you can select them all and drag them all down at once. Once they're in, they will populate your timeline. Now, a useful thing to know before we get into anything, over here we can increase the size of our timeline or shrink it down. Now, this is really useful because when we are making very delicate cuts, we can make them with precision and a great deal of accuracy. The first thing we're going to do is apply the Chroma Key and crop effects to our clips so that we can edit out the green screen. So, normally, I prefer to have one big long piece of film or piece of video that we're working with, but since we have several individual ones, there's a trick we can do to still apply the effects once to all of them. So you're going to drag your cursor over and select every single one so that they're all lit up. Then you're going to go to Effects, and you're going to search for Crop. You're going to drag it in and drop it. Now you'll note applied to all of them if this bar up here is gold, going all the way across. All right, and we're simply just going to do the same thing again for Chroma Key. After you've applied your effects, you're going to click over here, deselect everything, select only one clip, come up here to Applied Effects, and then you're going to use this menu to adjust your crop and your Chroma Key. For crop, you're just going to use these sliders to cut out everything but the green screen. For Chroma Key, you're going to use the dropper. You're going to pick up the green. If there's any parts that are shadowy or shaded, generally the darker the better. And you're going to use the similarity slider to erase all of the green screen. After that, you're going to move through and do it for each individual clip. Now that you've applied and tweaked your Chroma Key and crop effects, it's time to begin actually watching through the clips and editing out the pieces we don't need. So this includes any areas of silence, any areas where there's mistakes, and anytime anybody off screen is speaking or yelling stage directions. After you have identified a section of a scene that needs cut, you're going to position this line cursor where you are intending to split the scene. If you need to, remember, you can always expand it to make it easier to make those cuts. After you are sure you are going to cut a piece, you click the scissors on the line, and you have to make sure that the section you are working on is highlighted. After you have clicked the scissors, it splits the clip you're working to into two parts, and all you do is select the one by clicking on it that you want to get rid of, and you hit the delete key on the keyboard. It takes it out and automatically closes the rest of the clips in to make it one cohesive unit on the timeline again. So, now that you've edited down your video and cut out all the unnecessary pieces, we're going to talk about adding effects. The first thing you're going to want to do is work on zooming in on some of your clips. Now, when we're working with the green screen, the size we have is limited. You can see that it cuts off on the left and there's actually a little bit cut off on the right here. So, in order to kind of mask that and to give the scene a little bit more drama, we're going to zoom in a bit. You can do this by grabbing the corner and dragging it out. I think we're going to go a little bigger than that. So, now in this scene we have one subject, scolding another subject, so zooming in kind of creates a little bit more tension and makes the scene a little bit more dramatic, but it also definitely hides the fact that the green screen's cutting off. So you're going to want to go through and effectively zoom and move around any of your shots that you need to do that with. The next thing that we need to do is adding our background and some of our additional cards and effects. When you drop in the background, you have to put it beneath your video. Premiere does everything from the top down, so whatever's on top will be in front of whatever's beneath it. Helps to think about it that way. Now also you can see our background. The picture we have is a little too small, so we actually need to resize it so that it covers up all of the black. Sometimes you have to move your main shot out of the way in order to do that, but we're just going to zoom it till it covers up everything. And then we're going to bring our regular shot back in. Now this background, because I dragged it and resized it to be the length of the entire production, is just going to be the static background over all of the green screen throughout the entire thing. Next, we're going to add in any other effects that we have. In this video, our subjects are talking about the science fair. At one point, while they're referencing the science fair, we're going to bring up a graphic of the science fair schedule. Alright, so we're going to have it do a complete overlay over the entire screen at that point. That helps to make it be seen because there's a lot of little text in it. Other times when you're adding an effect, you can actually just have it be present in the scene, but it doesn't necessarily have to take up the entire screen, as long as you put it above. Now we need to add anything that we have for the introduction, as well as our credits. So the credits, well, they just go on the end. Real easy. And there they are. Now, the intro, obviously, introduction, it's going to go at the beginning. You can have different kinds. For this video, we just have a simple logo image introduction, and we're going to accompany it with a little bit of music that is royalty free. And then we're just going to shorten the music down to be the length of the initial clip. Now, there's one last thing to do to give our video a bit more of a polished look. As you can see between the scenes, it is just going to jump abruptly from one to the next. So what we need to do in order to combat that is add in transitions. Down here at the bottom there is a whole transitions menu, and there are several different categories, and each category has a bunch of different types. You don't want to get bogged down using the same kind of transition for every scene. You want to mix it up so that the viewer doesn't kind of get bored, especially if you have a video like this where there are a lot of different scene changes. I'm a big fan of dissolves myself, so that's what we're going to use as an example. When you find your transition, you will grab it, you will drag it and drop it between two scenes. And it's going to come up with adjustment menu. Alright, you can make the film dissolve last a lot longer than you need to, but the standard 1 second 30 frames generally works, and under most circumstances you're going to put it between the two clips. You can actually have it more justified on the one clip versus the other. So once you have decided where it's going to go, you drop it in, you click done, and now we have a transition in place. After you have finished putting in all of the transitions that you need to, you're going to save the video and you're going to publish and share it. Now we go to publish and share, we go to computer to export to viewing on computers. This is going to create a video file on the computer that we can move pretty much anywhere we need it to. Alright, since we're designing videos to be viewed online, just leave it as an Adobe Flash video. And the presets to 1080p, which is the highest definition that we can produce. Alright, we're going to name the video. Alright, now you need to name it something that is going to be easy to remember and easy to find, and then you need to save it. And as always, when you're saving something, we recommend saving it in your fellowship project folder. After you have named it and chosen its destination, you click save, and the video will now take time to render. But after it is done, you will find it in the folder in which you saved it as a video file that you can watch on the computer, or you can upload to any kind of website that allows for video uploads. Good luck, and thanks for watching.